This is the Gaming Gestures here with another gaming update podcast. Here with Angrod and my guest Shamrock again. We're gonna jump into a few things here. First with Overwatch. The last time we talked about this, we knew there's a teaser trailer about something coming out. Everyone's seen the new character that they had it. It's a mecha suit hamster. Was it Hammond? So the backstory. They gave a little backstory. It's Hammond's an escape test subject from Horizon Lunar Colony, I think it was, and it was known as Specimen 8. And so that's the new character we're going to be jumping into with this next update.
I was still hoping for a map, man. New map, but new character's not bad.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I wasn't too hyped for the character, but a lot of people were really big on it. And so far, the character, right when they announced it, a lot of people, I guess people really like rats. So they were saying it's going to be their new
Yeah, I guess they wanted like something with a different backstory compared to some of the other things, other characters they got going on, because that's a little far-fetched there. And
Nope, we're talking about a rat, not a bird.
Okay, that's a little Raticate type there.
There we go.
You fucking smart ass for pointing that out. Next topic.
So, next, so with Fortnite, July 12th, they'll be closing down Season 4, shutting down Season 4, and starting up Season 5 will be starting up. And there was a few teasers thrown out there. Like every season, they always throw a little bit of things for you to find out. There was some kind of a leak about new drop zones, new areas you can go to. I think there was 5. Let's see, I have here, there's Stars and Stripes, TP Glitchin' Vines, Golden Starfist, Ice. There's those 5 places. So I guess there's going to be new little areas added up, populating on the map that you're going to be jumping into.
Now, is that coming? Do you know if that's coming to all consoles or if that's just going to be Sony, going to be Microsoft? Because now that's on Switch, that's something that we don't know how much of the game is, what updates come, if they're going to be global or if Switch has like the habit of being, a little delayed with their updates.
Well,
developers on that end. I don't know.
Switch, they're catching up, but they're usually lagging behind. But this is going to be a global thing. This is with the season, so the Switch is going to get this pushed out with everyone else. It's all going to be the same. The whole map.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure because, like I said, I know Fortnite was in development for a while for Switch, so that's why that wasn't just like a new type thing because they want to get Fortnite on everything possible. Yeah, it's going to be the new Skyrim. It's going to be on Etch-a-Sketch.
It's on. The Etch-a-Sketch. That would be hard to play. Only the pro players will get there.
It's going to tell you. It's going to happen.
They've already reached everywhere they can put it on. Now that it's on phone and people play it on phone, that's the big one.
I can't think of anything else they can put it on. Nothing. Currently, that it's not missing on anything that's current that I could think of.
So I'm gonna jump in. So there's just a little thing with Kingdom Hearts 3. Finally, after the 10-year development, it finally got its end. Coming out, release date set for February. What was it? The end of January or the beginning of February?
I feel like it's January 29th. But let me tell you, Kingdom Hearts 3.
That's right in the square.
It's January 29th. I feel like it's January 29th, 2019. I might have the date wrong, but it is the end of January. I'm not because that's what the guy at GameStop said when we pre-ordered it yesterday. So
okay, well that's good then. At least I was in the ballpark there. I knew it was somewhere around there. But
yeah,
that Square Enix finally came out, and they kept teasing about it with Final Fantasy VII Remake, but they didn't say much because they kept saying they don't want to have.
Which one is going on with Final Fantasy VII? Not to interrupt there, but that was being teased around the same time. They both had the debut trailers at the same E3 back in 2013, and now
that was a really good E3 that year.
And yes, it was. I agree, but
they're finally giving the information about it. They said that the reason they weren't giving too much about it was they didn't want to have 2 big games. They didn't want to have one game trump the other. They want to have their big game and then just wait. This was still in the works, but it was down the sideball. Now that Kingdom Hearts 3, they're done with the development and set for release. They finally came out and they're starting to talk about Final Fantasy VII. And But they didn't say much about it yet. They said they're gonna, once Kingdom Hearts finally comes out next year, they're gonna have all their information is gonna be starting to come out. So we're gonna have a lot of Final Fantasy VII information finally coming out. But it's still set for not anywhere. It's still a couple more years before they're gonna have anything on it before the game comes out.
So we're not gonna have Final Fantasy VII Remake till at least like 2021, maybe 2022, unless it's 2020.
They said 2022 probably expect it. And
oh wow! So that is literally almost.
Years are going to be, but they did say it's going to be their spotlight game, and they're going to have a lot of news on it, and they can probably it might come out sooner if they can get, but they want to do it just. That's the reason they're going behind on it.
See, now I'm wondering if they're pushing it to next console, if there is a next console, like if this is, because there's always those rumors of this may be the last generation, and we may just be seeing nothing but upgrades from here on out, like they deal with smartphones. So. I mean, I'm wondering, like, now, is development moving to said PS5 or Xbox?
We'll definitely see that on PS5.
Xbox 3X, XXX, I don't know what's going to use Xboxes anymore.
We'll see. It's actually a surprise. I mean, Sony, you know what they're going to name it. So Xbox, Microsoft, you don't know what they're going to be going at, but... We got 2020 is when probably next year E3 we'll see the information on the PS5. In 2020, I think we'll have.
I feel like 2020 is going to be a strong year for gaming too. I don't know why. I just feel like there's a big like. I think all three companies I think are going to have something big in 2020. I don't know what yet, but I have that feeling. I feel like that's a landmark year for some reason, and I don't know why.
No,
because that would be what? That'd be the 25th anniversary of the PlayStation. I think maybe. Unless my math is off. No. Yeah. 1995. Yeah. First PlayStation. So if Sony celebrates their 25th anniversary in 2020, I feel they might have a big year.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge anniversary.
That would be the perfect push for the PS5, except they always come out late, so they'll probably be November, but still, good year for it, late in the year. But I'm going to...
we're going to see something happen.
Or next, so just a little small game I've been following for a little bit, but they just got a new character confirmed into it. The Jump Force, bunch of animes thrown together into like a fighting type.
Yes, that was the one. That was at E3.
Yeah.
Was that the E3 one I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
That's the one where I was. That's the crossover.
Yeah.
Like, unless I'm wrong, Dragon Ball Z's in it.
Yep.
Naruto is in it. Because I fucking was watching that E3 trailer and I'm like, oh, a new Dragon Ball Z game. And I'm like, no, that's Naruto. And I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, they went all out with it. They went everywhere. So
this one looks fucking cool as shit. So I'm excited to hear this.
It'll be interesting seeing. I mean, they won't have the power scales. Everyone will be the same power scale. No Goku God, one hit kill everyone. Delete them from the game in one punch. But that's who they.
Well, yeah, you don't want to.
Punch Man.
I mean, you don't want to OP it too much. So I mean, that would make sense. It's kind of like, I can hold a rant on that. But I mean, you don't want to OP it too much with one. You got to find the right balance and keep the characters with their, not sacrifice too much for them, but not nerf them so much to the point where they're like, this character would never exist in this realm this week. So they got to find that right balance, and I think that will happen. So.
As of right now, the confirmed character list, and we just got one new person as of just this week got new added in. So far they have Aizen from Bleach, Frieza, Goku from Dragon Ball Z, Luffy from One Piece, and Zoro from One Piece, Naruto and Sasuke from Naruto. Rukia, forgot Rukia from Bleach, and they just added Ichigo, which I don't know why they would have Aizen and Rukia before Ichigo, the main guy of Bleach, but they just confirmed he's going to be in the game. So we got a few. The characters list is growing, and the big thing, there's a bunch of teaser people in the trailer. Like you seen Light Yagami, he showed up. I don't think they were mentioning he's not going to be a fighter, but they did say he's going to have some part in the game, which means he might be like an NPC somewhere in the game who does something, has some kind of contribution to the game, but he might not be a fighter in there. So
Well, what you know how big they're expecting that roster to be, because they have a lot of characters they can choose from within within those universes alone. Especially even within Dragon Ball Z universe alone, they have a ton of characters they can. But that's another thing. We don't want to put too many characters from one franchise in. So
yeah, it seems like they're taking the most popular animes and pulling like 2 or 3 people, and so we'll see. Once they have a while yet to go, they'll be pulling a few more people into it.
Yeah, I definitely would interested. Does it have a release date? Because I don't remember. I think it was just, if I can recall correctly, E3 was just kind of a teaser. I don't remember if they had a release date, but I could be wrong.
I didn't see a release date.
Because E3 was like a blur. I know it was just a month ago, but it's like a big blur to me now. I'm like, everything just blends together. I'm like, oh, that has a release date, but that doesn't. And I try to type them down, like write them down. I'm like, oh, that game looks interesting. I'm gonna note the release date.
Write them all down, but I didn't recall seeing a release date for that as of yet.
Well, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a good game, I think.
Yeah.
Because when you got those, and those are all those are super popular animes. Those are probably the most common when you ask people what they're a fan of as far as anime. Those are usually the top responses there.
So we do have. I'll jump in 2 more big topics. I have one. Everyone saw E3. There's a huge hype for it, and it actually. So they had the E3 Gaming Awards show showed a bunch of awards. So right away they got the best. I'll save that one for the last award. There was just a few. I saw like Spider-Man got best console, and Spider-Man also.
Okay, yeah, the showcase, the most hyped and all that, and I kind of looked at the list. My God, what the hell? I know Kingdom Hearts had quite a few.
Yeah.
Unless I was reading the wrong list.
Well, the main thing, I wasn't going to go through the whole list of them. I was just going to say, like, point out a few of them. Like, Spider-Man got a few. But the big thing, Resident Evil 2 won the best show. And I'll give it to them. And I got a bunch of news that came out with the Resident Evil.
That was one that surprised me because I didn't know anything about that going in. I knew a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't know completely anything about it. But I had heard rumors that something was going on with the new type of Resident Evil remake type thing, but I didn't. For some reason, 2 was not at all what I was thinking of. So that was legit a surprise for me. And then when I saw that, I was like, I need to get this.
So
because that's going to look gorgeous.
That I
on new consoles.
The Resident Evil 2 creators, they spent a lot of time thinking about which style they wanted to take the game. Because now they had 3. They had like the old school basic ones. You had like Resident Evil 1. You had over-the-shoulder view, which 4, 5, and 6 took. And then you had the first person, which 7
first person from.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But they finally decided they're going to stick with the way they think they play it best is over the shoulder. But they also said they don't want people to think that it's going to be like 4, 5, and 6, where it's like more action-y.
Where it's like where it goes to the action, and then because 4 kind of started the action a little bit. 5, you were totally immersed in the action, but there was still a little bit of still had a little bit of what made it Resident Evil. And then by 6, you were like, this is totally like an action button masher kind of thing, and you're like. What is good? But then 7, they did a 180, and they're like, "Hey, now we're going back to
planes and that." Yeah, they went to full on horror. But now that's where 2. They said it's not going to be classified as a shooter, so it's going to be over the shoulder. It's going to be easy to aim and shoot, but it's not going to be classified as a shooter. It's still going to be the old school survival horror. It's going to push more for exploration and puzzle solving.
Which I think works best with that. That's one thing that I thought was kind of missing in Resident Evil 7 a little bit. While I did enjoy the game, one thing that, at least one concern that I had with it was, for me, it was very. Do you remember PT? It was supposed to be like the Silent Hills demo, I guess. It kind of had that feeling throughout, where there was just. There was something. It was good. It was nice to go to a throwback, but it still felt like something was missing that gave it. Because Resident Evil, the games, they have their own signature thing, which a lot of other horror type survival games do copy, and they set the trend for that. And I feel like there was some of those missing. I can't really pinpoint it right off the top of my head, but did you play Resident Evil 7 at all?
I haven't gotten around to it yet, but all the people I know, they said they really loved it. They loved the way it played
Oh,
and the story and
it's
everything.
definitely it's a great game. Don't get me wrong, but it just felt like there was still something that was. I think because it kind of was starting to throw back to the old Resident Evil games, it made you want kind of an old something in that style with modern, updated graphics and updated.
Yeah, I
Which,
know. That's where they kept having their remastered versions of them, and everyone jumped on them. They did really well. People love the remastered versions of the old games.
oh yeah, they sell phenomenally. They're good games.
So
So you can.
I have one more big topic. This one I just got what's coming out soon, so I got a lot of information right before it comes out, and it's coming out in I think couple weeks, next month actually. It's We Happy Few. Last time I mentioned Australia, they were having problems with it, and they finally pushed it. It is coming out in Australia now, so the people who funded it, the crowdfunding, they can get the game now. It's coming out with a rating of R18+, so it's like...
Damn!
Yeah, they're pushing the big rating, but they did confirm it will come out in there. But so,
Now, is that gonna? I know Australia is pretty. They're pretty tight with their rating system, so I don't know if that's gonna like put a hankering on sales exactly.
it might a little bit there, but at least people will still be able to get it who want it there.
Yeah, that was that one that looked fucking insane.
Yeah, so
I can't. I mean, I remember it because I remember not liking it at E3 last year, and then this year they E3'd it again.
Last year I remember watching it and thinking it looked like BioShock, which I loved, and so I got really big in the game. And this year they finally had a lot of stuff about the game, and they just had a big interview this week, and so I have a bunch of stuff that I can talk about it. Like, so the game's going to start out with the main character, one of three. There's going to be three main characters. The first guy is Arthur. He's going to wake up from the whole Doi denial society that's been going on, and his story is gonna follow. He sees a picture of his brother, and he regains his memory, and he comes out of it, and he sees what's going on, and so that's where he's gonna follow into where he goes into the whole island. But the big thing, the creators changed the game immensely from during the early access when they had it where people can play it during early access. It's pretty much a completely brand new game now that's coming out. It's nothing like that, and so. During the early access, the biggest problem was that people complained about was their lack of story. The game, they essentially made it a survival sandbox game where everything was going around. They threw you in there and you can roam anywhere, just trying to survive. And when you died, you died. Your character was dead. You started all over from the very beginning. Yeah. So they did change after some complaining. They changed that up a little bit and they added this story. So they made it, now it's heavily focused on the story base for the core game, and they added checkpoints, so when you die, you just do the thing where you respawn a checkpoint, you go back to the latest checkpoint, and you continue on from there.
Now, is the story mode, is that going to be part of the multiplayer, or is that just the solo, is that like a solo campaign on its own? Because I haven't read much about the game myself.
It'll be a whole solo campaign. It'll be a whole different mode where you do the whole solo campaign, and this will be solo. And,
okay, so you won't be forced into one thing or the other. Okay, that's not that bad then.
Yeah.
But it does look insane. I have seen a couple. Keep seeing the new trailers, and I haven't watched a lot of the gameplay yet. But from what I've seen, it just looks so. I don't know the word. I think it looks so wacky that it could work.
Well, I think that's where they were pushing. That's what they're pushing for, and well.
Yeah, because it's got that whole twisted thing, like where it's just like. Why am I playing this? But then you want to keep playing it more because it's just one of those that sucks you in.
And I love my survival horror games, but then the creators when they went through it, they were test playing it and pushing it out, and there was the mechanisms in the game for the food and water for the survival part. There was they want to push more for exploration, and they thought it was too hard trying to survive in that, so they ended up yanking out the food and water survival part, but then that kind of takes away from what the game was supposed to be, like the whole
survival. All right, because you're not survival. You're just
and it's like,
so then that's turning it more into like oh shit, not like
well,
everyone for themselves kind of a battle type game, and
but
my brain is just not fucked up today.
But that's what they're pushing, is trying to have it like you can see the way the town is dying. There's food and water's hard to find. The water's poisoned and all that. And you have to like try to survive. So they didn't want to get rid of it completely. So they did a bunch of testing and trying to figure out a way. And so they pulled it back in, but not where it'll kill you. Now they gave it a buff debuff system where if you don't eat for a long time, you don't sleep for a long time, you'll get a big debuff. Like if you're in combat, you don't sleep you go a whole day, you need to sleep, and if you don't sleep, you start getting weaker and slower in that, and things like that.
Damn.
Or if you sleep and you eat right, then you'll get buffed. And
so the good thing is though that they're listening to the feedback and actually implementing it into the game. Yeah. Because so many times you have the complete opposite of that in that scenario, where you have the feedback and you're like, well, we're still gonna do what the hell we want. Yeah. But these are the people that are buying your game, so I mean.
So they changed that up. But a big thing, though, that is pretty cool is they did, after changing and putting the single player where they put everyone in, they still had their whole early access game that they did, and they put that out as a second mode that you were talking about before, where it is that it's just a survival. There's no story to it. I think that's probably going to be the co-op mode where you multiplayer, where a bunch of people go in, you can probably fight, work together, kill each other, and it's all survival. You gotta.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's definitely worth checking. You say it's next month. It's coming out.
Oh yeah, release it's August 10th on it, so it's
August 10th. Now, is it like a $29.99 or is it going to be a little bit more? Did they set a price point? Because I can't,
I didn't see a price set for it, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be a pretty big game. They've been working on it for a while, but then again, they only had 15 people, so that's why it was a small team that they were working on. So they don't have anything on Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts had a whole team in 10 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're comparing like a huge AAA title like Kingdom Hearts to this like small little indie studio. So then, of course, you get your huge price difference there for that alone.
Yeah.
I mean,
so, running out of time here, so I'm just going to jump in. First, before I end this up, make sure anyone with Twitch Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your account to Twitch to get Twitch Prime, and Twitch Prime is giving away, I'll put a little thing of all the games and what date. Every day they're having a different game for free that you can get on your Twitch Prime account. So make sure you pick up your free games.
So Amazon Prime, you have Amazon Prime. Twitch Prime's included automatically.
Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime,
nice
you link it and you get Twitch Prime for free. One subscription free. And so this year,
sorry, I had a cough.
We're halfway through the year already, but we still have a bunch of pretty big games coming out. Like we got for the remainder of this year, we got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the long.
Oh my God! Speaking of Assassin's Creed, I'm sorry to interrupt for a second. There's someone mashed up the Super Mario Odyssey theme with the trailer for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it works so well, and it's hilarious. You gotta watch it.
Wow! Yeah, you gotta check that out.
It's so goofy, it's stupid, but it works.
I'll need to have a Mario costume for Assassin's Creed and call it.
Oh my God! With Ubisoft having such a good relationship with Nintendo, I could see that. But I mean, if I don't think the Switch could even run that. But I mean, if they do that streaming thing like they did with Resident Evil 7 in Japan, then maybe that's something they could do in the future.
Yeah, have it. They can even name it the Assassin's Creed Mario Odyssey.
It would be hilarious.
I think I have my new profile picture.
There we go. We gotta do that, man.
But the games for coming up, we got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the Assassin's Creed, the Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out. September's we're jumping in with the JRPG fans. They're finally bringing out the Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah. And did RDR2 actually get a release date? Because I haven't been following. Because I had a huge presence missing from E3, which is making me wonder if were they saving it for the Sony Experience show that's in September?
Probably. It might be because it's coming out in September, so that might be when they put a lot of information about it right before it launches.
Yeah, because I know that's not the name. So I know it's not called Sony Experience. I can't think what the hell it's called right off the top of my head, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that, and then I don't know. I think we might still get a few surprises for the remainder of 2018. So something might sneak in there.
Yeah. Biggest one there. Well, a lot of people now, you got the shooter fans hyped for the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 versus Battlefield 5 again. Always those two fighting against one another. So that'll be interesting to see. Now they have so much hype with both of them with the Battle Royals, and they're going to be competing once again.
And I'm just going to say that I'm still throwing my support fully behind Bully 2. Let's get on that, Rockstar. Once you get your RDR2 out, there you go.
Yeah. Well, now they found the DLC for GTA 5. Keep that going. They don't really have much games coming out lately.
Oh, no, because they could suck so much money out of those fucking yuppies from GTA 5.
Yeah, I mean, GTA 5, they did phenomenal with it. It was a really...
yeah, the online is interesting. The story itself is a good story. I mean, it's as far as...
That even yet. I only went the online, and I love the online.
Oh, compared to some of the older GTA games, it's like the total package. Like, it's got a lot of the element, and then the online is just what adds to it. And that's where they know their money is, too, because a lot of people just play for the online, and they say, there's a story to this. Like,
yeah. But I'm at the time limit, so I'm going to wrap it up and just say we got the Black Ops 4 and the Battlefield 5 in October, and then Fallout 76 in November. So
yes!
Games coming.
Pre-order that.
I got it already, waiting for my beta code. And I'm going to end this up here. And we'll see you guys next stream, next podcast.
Have a good day. Peace.
If you like the video, remember to like and subscribe.